Hello, here we are back again. I'm just making a little bit better view for the camera. I'm not shaved, but that's Shogunai. So let me introduce again everything what's going on here in Japan. I just made a previous test video. It looked that it is working okay, and I hope this will continue to work okay. So first of all, I'm now a little bit more in investing in American stock. I have my plan is like to around 80% of Elon Musk orientated stock, like SpaceX and Tesla. It's of course an enormous dip, so it is not the best time to think about stock market. So that is one. So I'm more active in trading. FX is doing still okay. I'm still trading that also. My main is still Euro USD. I made some money. Goes good. Could go better. But there are some strange things going on in FX, and that has to do with the weakening of the yen. And the Japanese government has changed during my last active time on YouTube. And this is more right wing, more socialist. There is only one party, and in this party is call it right, but in there's a left part and a right part, and the part now is a little bit more right. And is it good for Japan? For the Japanese, I don't know. For Japanese, it will be more difficult to go abroad because of all the, I call it the devaluation of the yen. They are trying to do something against it, but that will be a big hurt for the rest of the world. They want to repatriate all their investments, so that means the carry trade they want to build that back off. That means Japan invests in America's bonds, and of course, people invest in American dollar, equity, and all the things. They want to all bring that back, and that will mean that that has an impact on American stock market bonds that will all go down because people will pull back the dollar investment, go back to Japan and invest there. Now, yesterday there was a big explosion at the Elon in Japan for earthquake, level 7. Now, maybe they will need more money for that. And the big question is, will it work? Will Japanese economy come on top again? They had a big inflow of tourism and foreigners. There were some foreigners that were making misuse of the immigration laws, especially for starting businesses. So they wanted to make an end of it. They increased all the money for immigration. Is that positive? A lot of people that are outside of Japanese that are not permanent are thinking about leaving because they call it anti-sentiment of Japanese. I don't think. I think it's getting expensive. And if you earn here something, also if you're in Asia, the yen is getting less value. So you can better maybe go to another country than Japan, because if you earn here something, and the salaries are not changing, they are changing now a little, it doesn't have an impact on it didn't have the advantage of a strong yen that it has now. So making money here in Japan isn't smart. There are people looking like Americans that have a strong dollar against the yen, looking at housing here or to live here or to live maybe 2 times a year here with a maximum 90 days times 2 of I call it a visit. I call it visit. You come 90 days here in Japan, and then you have to go 2 weeks away, and you can go 90 days here in Japan. So you are effectively half a year, and you can live here, of course, cheaper. And they buy a house, and they want to, I call it like an early retirement here. They want to retire here in Japan. Now, these things will be a little bit difficult. The half year is possible, but the permanent residency or the real license to stay here will become more expensive. This is indirectly has to do with not the things you read on YouTube or for other things. There are other bigger problems with foreigners that are not really mentioned in the news. That's why this is all happening. I'm still staying here. I don't have any plans to leave. I'm of course looking if there's a better chance, but for the moment, what I see what's happening in the future, Japan will still be one of the best countries to stay at. whatever going to happen with AI. My AI picture has changed a little, but not much. I saw this all already coming years ago, and it is now developing. I am surprised that it goes a little bit slower. I thought it would go faster. Things are happening, and people. The problem is people think that they know what's going on, and that's often the most problematic thing. If you have a half the knowledge, you think you know it. You can make if you make a wrong decision, you think you know it all what's going to happen, and then you're totally wrong because you don't understand it. So, for example, all the talk about now about is AI really in the future so important? Is this investment in the stocks, etc., also important? People looking at analysts, they don't know what's really what's happening. So they say, yeah, now China has now a machine that can make the same as TSMC. They don't know that it takes more than 3 years to make this machine mass produce. So if you have one demo machine, that is nice. You can prove that your technology or your idea is working. But before it is a product you really can use for making chips, and then you have to have also the quality and that it can make how many machines, what's the quality of the machines, and how many chips you can make. This is all not tested yet. It is just maybe a sign that they are catching up to TSMC. But yeah, if they're catching up and it takes 3 years, then TSMC has, of course, 3 years to evolve again at a higher level that they now are trying to copy. That's the same thing that Elon Musk said. You can copy his car. It takes you 3 years. If you have the copy of the car, it's already 3 years old and he has a newer car. So, okay, copying is good. You learn about it, but to go ahead or to level at the same technology front, and so go issue or together up at the same level, that's totally different. You see it also with rocket launches now with reusable. Glenn has maybe a year delay, maybe 6 months delay. Rocket Lab is working on a neutron, a little bit delayed, also 6 months. I hope end of the year the neutron will go up. Yeah, it goes up the first time, and before it is reusable, you are maybe a year or 2 years further. Starship is in a more further process. The ship, the Starship, the second stage is still floating. I hope they can pull it back to America and they can examine it. I'm monitoring that. The booster is not working good, but I think they will, after a few launches, they will fix it. There are some rumors that that Shotwell wants to go faster. They want to launch every month from now. So maybe I hope they will do that. They are behind schedule, I think. The best is just launch the thing, go in space. If you prove that you can start the engine in space, and you can always be sure that you can dump it or you can bring the Starship back to Earth. That is the most important thing. If you can do that, go to space with Starship, dump 60 of those Starlinks 3 in space. This will create already money that will continue your financing of your project, and it will give a boost in finance because it goes to a new market. Now, Starlink is only used for internet. The new one will use for mobiles, and that will take also maybe 100 launches or maybe a 50 or 60 launches to really make it usable and really produce money. So it will take a year of launching Starship as much as possible, 60 times, I would say 600 or maybe 1,000 satellites. Then it's maybe usable. And then they can create money with it, and that will finance again the whole Starship happening thing. That is good. So, are they on track? No, they are not really on track. The first stage is not okay, so they cannot catch it. The second stage can be maybe in the near future easier to catch than the first stage. So, but I hope they will time it all. It all comes good, and I hope in the end of the year they can catch both of them. Then they have to build out the places where they can launch and land. So they have now 2 places they are building on Boca Chica where they can land, and then Florida is another one. I hope they go abroad. I hope they go to Japan, and I hope that there are some other, maybe Australia. So you have to look at the coast. What is the best thing? Maybe work together with Rocket Lab or other countries, space programs where he can maybe launch, or he can build out the Starship infrastructure on the ground. Now it is so big ship that this rocket that it is very difficult. So I think for the coming 5-6 years, 5 years maybe, it will only be America. If he is smart, he makes like an ready to go tower that he can pack and can ship all over the world, and then he can buy an island or buy somewhere and just plant it. The concrete and all that, it will be more difficult. Maybe what I was thinking, land the thing in sea, and so maybe catch it in with a boat or a tug or an old oil platform and make that as a landing place, and maybe also a launching place. Maybe that is better than have the rocket land and in the sea, and then use some boats to go with the crew there. Then on land. I think Rocket Lab is also thinking about it, but that's all about SpaceX. Tesla and his robotaxis is interesting. I think it's holding back because they are afraid that it will, if they fail, if they have an accident, that it will impact all the worlds of this self-driving. So I understand it. It is not good for the shareholders. They are upset. That's why the stock is down. But give it a year, I think, and if robotaxi is really used, it will push the cars. I think it's a good decision to stop with the X and the S. So now it's only the Model 3 and the Y. We are thinking also to buy a Tesla car or maybe something else. So we are thinking, our old car, one of the old cars is too old, and we need a replacement, and we're thinking about an EV or again maybe a second-hand or a bigger car, and then postpone the EV happening here in Japan. Japan itself, everything is getting more expensive because of this economy. There is some salary increasement, but only for new jobs and other people that are really at a lower level. There you get a little bit of a salary increasement, but the higher level people don't get anything. So they still have to, they don't go. The only way to get there more money is to change the job. Living here in Japan, it's getting a little bit more difficult. Everything is getting more expensive. But if you are smart and you find ways around it, and you can make things cheaper than before. Be a little bit more careful with money invested. This is not the best time to invest because some channels on the internet already said that if Japan pulls back all the money from the stock markets all over the world, means the whole world of stock market go down. And of course, we are invested. I'm invested in Tesla, and there's an outside stock. So that hit was with 20%, not nice. But I think they will fight back. I think at the end, SpaceX and Tesla will merge, and they will become one of the biggest companies. So that even if you buy now or whenever you buy stock in 10 years, it will be cheaper. It will cheap. But we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with Elon Musk. The accidents can happen or whatever. But for the moment, I put some trust in him and in his companies that it will work out in the next 5 to 10 years. I'm also looking, I'm now 59, so I have to look at my pension. So Japanese pension payment will stop at 60, that is next year. So then that is the maximum I can put here into my pension fund in Japan. I will have to go to the Netherlands, and I will try to get my Dutch pension, and then I will combine my Dutch pension with my Japanese pension. I hope that I have some money. It looks that I got a little bit, that I'm okay. Could always be better, but yeah. And then I hope to write more books. And about my books is that I'm not increasing money, and I'm not earning so much money. The idea is to help people with studying or finding interesting subjects. They can read a little bit about it and then do their own research. I use, of course, AI and my own thinking about how to write a book. It's getting a little bit more easier, but also more difficult because AI is getting better and also at some things not better. But the result is better. So I'm rewriting some books and they are a little bit more successfully. About AI, I think it's going too slow. I think in the background there is more. So AI is making AI now, and as what Jensen Huang said about NVIDIA, he cannot even make chips anymore without AI. So I think the dependency becomes bigger and bigger. This is good, but it's also not good. Jobs are changing. They thought no programs were needed, but it looks like there are even more programmers needed. And I also see that if departments are changing inside of a company, I think more people will be able to program or do things with AI, and you need more engineers to explain it at a lower other level. Maybe programmers are not needed. That's something. Then you have also the whole AI thing with Anthropic and OpenAI and Grok and the Google and Meta. These are the big foundry AIs. Will there be the future against the open source stuff? I think open source will do their job, and I think the past shows that open job is not so good as a proprietary software. So I think $20 a month for a good AI is always better than configure your own AI until you have to host it on a machine in the cloud that you have to pay for. If you want to go, that's also the route I was taking that's why I also bought a new laptop to host it locally. The models are smaller, the functionality is smaller, but you can combine it with the real models and the local models. I think the future will be what my LinkedIn profile says, the Hive AI. I think future AI will be like an AI that controls multiple AIs for different jobs. So you have specifically that, like in the brain, there are areas where they are specifically trained. I think you will have in the future open source or specific AIs that are trained on specific tasks. And there's one AI that makes a workflow for so you get a task, it splits it up in subtasks, finds the best AI to do that subtask, run it, collect all the information, and gets to put out and maybe checks it, security, whatever. So it will be a collaboration of multiple AIs, like a hive. In hive thinking, there will be a hive head at above commanding these agents. Now you see that is what I look at. I think 10 years, 15 years ago, I made the company and I was thinking about this, and it is now reality. And I think this agent is like my hive bee workers. This will be the solution for AI. It will always be there, like in the brain, like subtasks will be done by specialized agents or specialized AIs. And also we have to take away that human brain is not what is AI. AI is something totally different from human, and you will see that it will develop in this way. The technology will shift, it will become better, only get better if we let loose that an AI has to react as a human. An AI is an AI, and this will be more clear if AI is creating itself. So AI is making AI, it will make it in the vision of an AI and not in the vision of a human. And then the alignment is very important. And you can, with a hive, if you have a super hive leader that looks over his agents, there you have to do the alignment. And that will automatically align the sub agents. So that is my idea, and that is what I will still try to build. I'm working on some new software projects for AI workflows. So you make a workflow with AI to command your task with other AIs. So this is very interesting. It is like Power Center from Informatica, but also like other software I work for. They work with workflows, creating workflows for tasks. Now these days, these workflows can be created by an AI. Yeah, and if in those tasks, for how the workflow is built up, are AIs. So you build with an AI workflow with an AI. to control your task. And then you can also see what it is doing. If it is doing something wrong, you can correct it. Now you don't know what's happening. You fire it off and you have to let it run until the end. My idea is you can run an AI process, you stop it, and after a while you can restart it and it ends. This is not possible with any AI now. You cannot stop and hold it because this is not possible. You see it if you do a task. If you stop it, all your output is gone and all your research and all your tokens are gone. Your money is dissipated. My idea is that if you start something, you stop it, and you restart it, the tokens and the knowledge that was previously used is not gone, and you continue where you are. So this is one thing. It was a new software project, and I also want to use that for financial prediction market, because I still think the human brain is a prediction machine and not what people think that it is intelligence. But all those things together, I hope this will work. I don't know how long this live stream is now running. I think a few minutes. I see it is 20 minutes. I have to make dinner. So maybe I do another one later. I'm happy that I can be on the internet again. And let's pick up. Let's talk a little bit about my idea about Elon Musk. What's all going on with Tesla and SpaceX. And I will specifically look at SpaceX because that is new. And I already wrote before anybody was talking about databases in space. I was thinking about databases in a way of storing data, not AI. So I wrote a book that years ago about this, and the idea I already had. I was thinking about Oracle because they have a self-maintenance database. When Larry created this database, I already knew this thing will go in space, because if it is no maintenance is needed or no control is needed, the only place where you cannot control it is in space. So this is an ideal thing to build in space. And I thought also this was maybe his plan, and if he knows Elon Musk. And it looks like that they are now building it, but what I didn't know is that they will use it for AI. I thought they will use it for databases, and maybe it is the same because AI also use databases. So for now, and maybe I will start a new one, and I especially will go live tomorrow again. See you all, and I hope I can continue this every day. Bye-bye.